There's that very specific kind of dread that only comes with a first date. It's more than just being nervous. It's like a full body experience. Your palms get clammy. You're checking your reflection in every car window.
It's a high-pressure social performance. I mean, you're basically auditioning. You're presenting this curated version of yourself to a total stranger for judgment.
Exactly. It's an interview for a job you're not even sure you want. And all that anxiety comes from the unknown, right? But what if? What if the anxiety came from knowing the whole thing was built on a lie from the very beginning?
Well, that is a terrifying premise, and it's pretty much exactly where we're going today. We are doing a deep dive into a short story called Blind Date by Uday Mukherjee.
And it reads like this. This wild comedy of errors, and trust me, it gets chaotic.
Yeah.
But it's actually a really sharp look at modern trust, or the lack of it.
I think it's more than that. I see it as a perfect dramatization of the prisoner's dilemma from game theory. Just, played out in an East Village wine bar.
Okay, so prisoner's dilemma. Give us the quick version.
Sure. So it's a scenario where two people, acting purely in their own self-interest, end up with a worse outcome than if they had just cooperated.
If they both betray each other, they both lose.
Precisely. And in this story, we're watching two people who decide to betray the entire concept of a date before they've even said hello.
So let's set the scene. We start in a bedroom with our protagonist, Melissa, and her friend, Jessie. And Melissa is spiraling.
The classic pre-date spiral.
Yeah, she's standing there, staring at this mountain of rejected clothes, tries on a purple dress, hates the sleeves. You know the drill.
It's that moment where your whole closet just feels like a personal attack, but it establishes her vulnerability. She cares.
Right. So her friend Jessie steps in, hands her a simple black dress, crisis averted. But then the mood shifts, doesn't it? It goes from, fashion advice to a security briefing.
It really does. Jessie stops being the stylist and becomes the bodyguard.
Yeah, she asks to see a picture of the guy, Jeremy, and she's very blunt. She says, in case something happens to you and I need to go to the police.
Which is, it's a grim but totally standard part of dating now.
So Jessie grabs the iPad to look at this guy's profile, and she just freezes. She looks at the picture, then back at Melissa, and she says, wait, I think I know that girl.
And there it is, the reveal. The picture on Melissa's dating profile is not Melissa.
It's Blake Lively.
The Blake Lively, yes. And Melissa's just so casual about it.
Oh, totally shameless. She's like, yeah, my mom says I look like her. Plus, it's one of her lesser-seen photos.
I love that little detail, a lesser-seen photo. As if that makes it okay. It shows she put real effort into her deception.
But Jessie calls her out on it. She calls her devious. And Melissa's defense is really the core of this whole story.
It is. She said she did it for safety. You never know who's going to show up.
This is what she says. If I don't like what I see, I'm going to bail. That way he would never know.
That's it. It's what psychologists would call defensive deception. She's not lying to exploit him. She's lying so she can have an escape hatch.
The power of invisibility. It's kind of brilliant in a really cynical way.
It absolutely reveals her worldview. She calls dating in New York fishing on the high seas. She talks about sharks and their relatives.
Sharks and their relatives. What a great line.
It is. In her mind, the dating pool is a hostile environment, so trust is a weakness. She feels totally justified in lying first. It's a preemptive strike.
So Melissa heads out, feeling like she's a master spy. But now we cut to the other side of this. We're at the restaurant, The Immigrant, and we meet Jeremy.
And Jeremy. Jeremy is also brought back up.
He has his sister, Chloe, with him. And let's be clear, Chloe is not happy about it.
No. She's basically the voice of reason in this whole mess. She asks him why she has to be there, and Jeremy gives the exact same reason as Melissa.
If I don't like her, I don't want to go through with this. He wants a human shield.
Right, but Chloe points out the flaw. She's like, you aren't invisible, right? She's still going to see you.
And this is where it just becomes a total farce. He says, one step ahead of you. She doesn't have my picture.
He did the same thing. He catfished her right back.
But his lie is, it's so much worse. Melissa used a celebrity. Jeremy used a photo of Peter.
And Peter is?
Chloe's husband, his own brother-in-law.
It's just staggering, the laziness of it. He stole family member's identity.
And Chloe is horrified. She says you can't borrow someone's identity, but Jeremy just waves it off.
He says Peter is generous and believes in helping people.
As if this is some kind of charity work.
It shows you his cynicism is it's bottomless. He sees his own family as tools to be used.
So to recap, two people, both terrified of being tricked, have decided to trick each other. They've basically ensured the date is a lie before it's even started.
They've completely insulated themselves from any risk, but also from any chance of a real connection.
Okay, so let's get to the standoff. It's 6:05 p.m. Melissa walks into the immigrant. She's fashionably late, which is another little power move.
It's all about control.
She scans a room, and her problem is she's not looking for Jeremy. She's looking for the man in the photo. She's looking for Peter.
She's looking for Chloe's husband.
And she sees a couple guys at the bar. She pulls out her phone, looks at the fake photo, looks up, and nope, neither of them is him.
And this is where the digital lie just crashes into physical reality. She's so sure the photo is real that she actually approaches a total stranger.
Oh, this part is so cringy. She walks up to this random guy and asks, "You aren't Jeremy, are you?"
And the guy, he's just trying to have a beer. He sees his chance and grins, "It could be."
And she just shoots him down, mumbles "loser," and walks away.
The irony is just off the charts. She calls him a loser for playing along, while she is literally there under a false identity.
So she goes to a table, and Jeremy is at another table with Chloe. They're probably feet away from each other.
But they might as well be on different planets. They're communicating through their phones.
Melissa texts her friend Jessie, who comes late on a first date. She's furious. Meanwhile, Jeremy can't see Blake Lively, so he tells Chloe he's going to send a nasty message and leave.
They're both playing the victim. They're getting mad at the world because it's not matching the lie they created.
They're ghosting each other in the same room.
The tension is building. They're both about to walk out, convinced that dating is a nightmare.
But then, Chloe. Oh, bless Chloe. She has had enough.
She is the hero of this story. She just snaps. She stands up, takes her fork, and clinks it against her water glass.
The universal sign for, "Everybody shut up, I'm about to make a scene."
She silences the whole restaurant. And she just yells out, "Is there a Melissa in the house?"
Oh, the public humiliation. It's a nightmare.
So Melissa hears this. And her first thought isn't, "Oh, good." It's, wait, Jeremy is a girl.
She thinks she's been catfished. She decides to bolt, pays for her drink, heads for the door.
But the universe is not done with her. As she's rushing for the exit, the door swings open. And who walks in?
Peter. The real Peter.
Chloe's husband. Just there to pick her up. He has no idea what he's walking into.
But for Melissa, this is him. This is the face from the app. This is Jeremy.
And she sees him, and all that anger and embarrassment from the last 30 minutes just explodes. The story says she goes off like a guided missile.
I love that line. She just launches herself at this poor guy. She's screaming, "You are Jeremy, right? Who comes half an hour late. We're done."
And poor Peter is just baffled. He's like, "Hold on, first, I'm not Jeremy, I'm Peter."
And then he points. He points to the table where the real Jeremy is sitting.
And the whole thing just collapses.
Yeah.
All the lies are exposed. You have Melissa, the fake Blake Lively. You have Jeremy, the fake Peter. You have the real Peter. And you have Chloe, the architect of all this beautiful destruction.
The masks are off. Melissa tries to run again. She's still trying to control the situation.
But Chloe blocks the door.
Oh, yeah. Chloe is not letting anyone off the hook.
She physically stops them. She pushes Jeremy and Melissa to stand next to each other.
And then she delivers the verdict.
She looks them both right in the eye. "You two are equally to blame." She calls them cowards. "You hide behind someone else's picture."
And then she says the line that really got me. "You guys are killing your blind date."
Killing your blind date, it's so powerful. Not ruining it. Murdering it. Murdering the very concept.
Because they treated it like a war, not a date.
Exactly. And when you do that, you lose all the humanity. And then for the final mic drop, she grabs Peter's arm and says, "Let's get out of here."
And she leaves them, just standing there, alone, together.
But she says one more thing as she leaves. She looks back at them and says, "You deserve each other."
So let's talk about that line. You deserve each other.
Yeah. I mean, usually that is a massive insult,
Yeah.
right? It means you're both terrible people.
Right.
It's a curse.
Yeah.
But is it, in this specific case, is it possible it's actually a prophecy?
Walk me through that.
Well, think about it. A normal, honest person would be horrified by what Melissa did. They feel betrayed.
And same for Jeremy. A normal person sees the fake photo and they're gone.
But Jeremy gets it. He understands perfectly why she did what she did, because he did the exact same thing. He operates on the same frequency of paranoia.
So by tearing down all the lies, Chloe might have accidentally revealed that they are perfectly matched. They're mirror images of each other. They're the only two people in that whole restaurant who can truly understand the other's baggage because they're carrying the exact same set.
That's a really interesting thought. That their mutual deception is the only honest thing between them.
So when they're left standing there, no Blake Lively, no Peter, just looking at each other's real faces, maybe that's the actual first date.
That's the moment the blind date ends and the real date begins. The story ends there. So we don't know what happens. But the possibility is just hanging in the air.
It's such a great little story. It just shreds all the filters and the safety nets we build around ourselves online.
And it reminds you that eventually, the phone dies. The app closes. And you just have to be a person in a room with another person.
You can't Photoshop your personality in real time.
Nope. You have to risk the awkwardness. You have to risk rejection. That is the price of admission for a real connection.
So what's the big takeaway for everyone listening? Besides, maybe don't use a celebrity's picture on your dating profile.
I think the deeper question is about that idea of defensive lying. We all do it right. We curate our lives. We post the good pictures. We omit the messy stuff.
We're all the editors of our own story.
We are. But this story asks, at what point does that curation become a prison? If you build up so much armor that no one can hurt you, well, then no one can reach you either.
You've guaranteed your own loneliness by trying so hard to avoid it.
Exactly. You win the battle, but you lose the whole point.
But hey, if you do find someone who's just as guarded and cynical as you are for the same reasons, maybe you've actually found your person.
Maybe you have. Maybe two negatives really can make a positive. Or, at the very least, a very, very interesting kind of chaos.
I think I'd take interesting chaos over a boring date any day.
Amen to that.
Well, that's all the time we have for today's deep dive into the surprisingly complicated world of blind date.
We hope you enjoyed this little trip into the murky waters of modern romance.
And please, if you're going on a date tonight, just be yourself. Or, at least a version of yourself that doesn't involve identity theft.
Sound advice.
Thanks for listening.